Explosive media corruption. Plot to frame Poilievre exposed. CBC host humiliated by fact-check. As Canada approaches its federal election on April 28, 2025, tensions have reached a boiling point. The political atmosphere is charged with frustration, suspicion, and a growing demand for accountability. Canadians are witnessing a defining moment. As the stakes in this election go far beyond policy debates, they touch the very heart of our democracy, media integrity, and the future direction of the nation. Mark Carney, who took the helm of the Liberal Party after Justin Trudeau's resignation in March, is now leading the Liberals into a high-stakes election. Despite his deep background in global finance as a former governor of both the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England, Carney faces sharp criticism for lacking the real-world political experience that elected office demands. Many Canadians view him as an elite figure, parachuted into leadership without ever earning public trust through direct democratic engagement. His rise has also sparked concerns about centralized power and the influence of unelected insiders in shaping national policy. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, on the other hand, has galvanized a massive following with his no-nonsense approach and populist message of restoring accountability, lowering costs, and protecting Canadian freedoms. Poilievre has consistently highlighted the damage caused by radical climate policies that punish working Canadians while doing little to achieve tangible environmental benefits. His message is clear. The Liberal agenda has increased energy costs, driven away investment, and forced jobs out of the country. Canadians, he argues, are paying the price for policies rooted in ideological grandstanding rather than practical solutions. But it's not just policy differences that have defined this election season, it's the tactics. In what many are calling one of the most blatant displays of media bias in Canadian political history, mainstream outlets, particularly the CBC, have aligned themselves with the Liberal narrative, promoting Carney while attempting to discredit Poilievre through distortions, omissions, and outright fabrications. A recent scandal has brought this media corruption into sharp focus. At a major Conservative Party conference, Liberal operatives were caught planting "Stop the Steal" buttons, a calculated attempt to associate Poilievre and his supporters with fringe American political movements. This stunt was immediately amplified by sympathetic media outlets who used it as proof that the Conservative base is radical, conspiratorial, and dangerous. But the truth eventually surfaced. The buttons were not a grassroots statement from Conservative members. They were a setup, a planted narrative, a fabrication aimed at smearing the official opposition and undermining the credibility of an increasingly popular leader. CBC and other mainstream media didn't just fail to investigate, they ran with the falsehood. Instead of holding power to account, they acted as a megaphone for it. Instead of asking questions, they parroted talking points. When fact-checkers and independent journalists revealed the truth, the silence from the CBC was deafening. No retraction. No apology. No accountability. Pierre Poilievre has not remained silent in the face of these tactics. In recent speeches, he has taken direct aim at the media's complicity in what he calls manufactured narratives. He has called out not only the Liberals for engaging in dirty tricks, but the media for serving as their enablers. In an age of mass communication, Poilievre argues, Canadians deserve truth, not propaganda dressed up as journalism. This dynamic has raised a broader concern that transcends party lines: the collapse of trust in Canada's public institutions. Many Canadians are asking why Poilievre's rallies are drawing thousands, while polls continue to show him trailing. How is it that the party with arguably the most energized base is constantly portrayed as marginal or extreme? It's a question worth exploring, especially given the polling industry's well-documented issues with small sample sizes, urban-skewed demographics, and subtle biases in how questions are framed. When Poilievre supporters express skepticism over polling data, they are quickly branded as anti-democratic or dangerous, another example of how open inquiry is being replaced by rigid orthodoxy. Nowhere is this bias more clearly reflected than in the media's treatment of young Conservative men. This demographic, often politically engaged, economically marginalized, and culturally dismissed, is routinely portrayed as a threat rather than a legitimate political voice. Their frustrations are labeled as extremism, their advocacy called radicalization. This demonization, combined with skyrocketing housing costs, job insecurity, and a lack of social support, is contributing to a silent mental health crisis among young Canadian men. And yet, instead of addressing the real grievances driving this discontent, Liberal operatives and their media echo chamber continue to attack the character of these individuals. Rather than understand, they condemn. Rather than engage, they shame. It's a recipe not just for political division, but for long-term social fragmentation. Conservative MP Raquel Dancho has warned that disinformation is no longer just an external threat, it's being weaponized internally. She points to how carefully orchestrated narratives are deployed to manipulate the public, divide communities, and suppress opposition. The recent Stop the Steal button incident is just one example in a pattern of information warfare conducted not by foreign actors, but by our own political class. Former Cabinet Minister James Moore added his voice to the growing concern, accusing the CBC of abandoning its journalistic duty. According to Moore, when the public broadcaster becomes a partisan tool, democracy suffers. Voters are no longer informed, they are managed. They're no longer empowered, they're nudged. All this is happening while the country faces real and growing challenges. Hate crimes are on the rise. Public disorder is increasing. Inflation continues to eat away at household budgets. Confidence in national institutions, from parliament to the press, is eroding. And yet, the Liberal response has been to double down on identity politics, virtue signaling, and performative gestures, all while failing to offer meaningful solutions. Amid this chaos, Poilievre's campaign has gained momentum by offering a stark alternative. His proposed Accountability Act 2.0 is designed to close the very loopholes that Liberal officials have exploited for years, loopholes that allow insiders to avoid scrutiny, hide spending, and escape consequences. The new act would strengthen transparency laws, empower independent oversight bodies, and make it easier for whistleblowers to expose wrongdoing. Poilievre has also pledged to put Canadians first, not lobbyists, not bureaucrats, and not global elites. His vision is rooted in common-sense conservatism, affordable housing, safe communities, energy independence, and a government that serves the people, not itself. Meanwhile, Carney continues to pitch himself as a centrist pragmatist. He has promised to pursue a blend of clean and conventional energy development to secure Canada's energy future. He speaks of unity and economic stability. But critics say his track record is light on results and heavy on rhetoric. For many voters, Carney represents a continuation of Trudeau-era politics, technocratic, insulated, and dismissive of working-class concerns. The battle lines have never been clearer. On one side, a conservative movement demanding change, transparency, and a return to democratic accountability. On the other, a Liberal establishment clinging to power through media manipulation, character assassination, and an outdated political script. This election isn't just a choice between two parties. It's a referendum on the integrity of Canadian democracy itself. Canadians must now decide, will they accept a political culture where truth is optional and media collusion is normal? Or will they demand a government that respects them, hears them, and fights for them? The answer will shape not only the next 4 years, but the future of Canada as a free and democratic society.